When you think about the 1970s Yankees, or baseball in general, one name should immediately come to mind: Thurman Munson. Nicknamed Tugboat, he was the Yankees catcher and team captain during the 70s, the first such captain since Lou Gehrig. He had phenomenal accomplishments, some not even Hall of Famers can match. And today, we're going to discuss his life, career, and visit his son's restaurant in Canton, Ohio, appropriately named Tugboats Pub. So pull up a chair and join us on this episode of History and Relics. Thurman Lee Munson was born on June 7, 1947, in Akron, Ohio. He was the youngest of 4 children, born to Darrell and Ruth Munson. Darrell Munson was a World War II veteran who became a long-haul truck driver after being discharged from the service. Ruth, meanwhile, was a homemaker and devoted parent. Thurman went to Worley Elementary School in Canton. It is there he would meet Diana Dominic, who would later become his high school sweetheart, while the two attended Canton's Lehman High School. The two would later marry on September 2, 1968, at St. Paul's Catholic Church in Canton. The two later had 3 children, Tracy, Kelly, and Mike. As a young boy, Thurman got his first taste of organized baseball when he first played with the Canton Mighty Midget League and later with a local American Legion post team. In high school, he excelled in basketball, baseball, and football. In fact, by his senior year, Thurman had 80-plus schools offering him football scholarships, from Ohio State to Michigan, Kansas to Syracuse. Thurman's talent was turning heads. But he stayed true to his love of baseball, and in his senior year he was hitting an average of .581 and was picked for the All-Ohio team as a shortstop. The scholarships kept coming in, and finally Kent State University offered Thurman a full scholarship, which he accepted. It also allowed him to be close to home and his high school sweetheart, Diana. Thurman made Kent State proud. He set several offensive records while at Kent State, which led to him being named to the college All-American team. He was hitting .413 in his junior year, and at the end of the season opted to go pro. In June 1968, the New York Yankees picked Munson in the first round of the amateur draft. Yankees general manager Lee MacPhail and scout Gene Woodling, another Akron, Ohio native, traveled to Canton to seal the deal, which included a $70,000 sign-on bonus. That's over $500,000 today. Thurman's pro career started with the Double-A Binghamton Triplets of the Eastern League. 1968 was the height of the Vietnam War. Thurman had initially undergone a physical, but a bone spur discovered on his ankle got him dismissed from military service. This allowed him to continue on with baseball, where he played a few exhibition games with the Yankees that eventually got him promoted to the Triple-A Syracuse Chiefs. However, the draft board would resurface, and Thurman would undergo yet another physical, which he passed. He was inducted into the Army Reserves, serving as a clerk for 4 months at Fort Dix, New Jersey. When he wasn't in active duty, Thurman took batting practice at Yankee Stadium and managed to play a few games with the Chiefs. On August 8, 1969, the Yankees activated him to the Major League roster for a weekend series against Oakland. Thurman was given the jersey number 15. Thurman saw action in the second game of a doubleheader against Oakland, in which he got his first Major League hit off of A's Catfish Hunter. He ended up going 3 for 6 with a home run and 3 RBIs before returning to active reserve duty. His reserve duty, however, would come to a close at the end of August 1969, which opened the door for his remaining on the Major League roster with the Yankees, where he finished out the season. In the winter of 1969-1970, Thurman played in San Juan in the Puerto Rican League alongside baseball great Roberto Clemente. And in the spring of 1970, he landed the starting catcher's job with the Yankees, making 1970 his first full season in the majors, as well as earning nearly a unanimous vote for the American League Rookie of the Year honors, thus becoming the first American League catcher to earn such a distinction in history. The honors and achievements did not end there. Thurman went on to have a career that some could only dream of, and achieved heights that even some Hall of Famers never accomplished during their playing years. In addition to winning Rookie of the Year, he was a 7-time American League All-Star for 6 consecutive years, 1973 to 1978. He was a 3-time American League Gold Glove winner from 1973 to 1975, and Thurman was also the first catcher in baseball history with 4 seasons of 180-plus hits while catching 120-plus games each season, 4 consecutive seasons, 1975 to 1978. Thurman was one of 3 catchers in baseball history with 3 consecutive seasons with a 300-plus batting average and 100-plus runs batted in from 1975 to 1978. He was also the only catcher in baseball history with a 300-plus batting average, 20-plus runs batted in, and 20-plus runners caught stealing in the postseason. And speaking of the postseason, take a look at some of these stats. If you need to, please pause your video, as this is some incredible stuff that only Hall of Famers are made of. In 1976, Thurman won the American League Most Valuable Player Award. Also during 1976, he made captain of the team, the first such captain since Lou Gehrig. Following that, the fearless captain took his team to back-to-back World Series championships in 1977 and 1978. From 1970 to 1979, Thurman had more innings caught, games started at catcher, complete games caught, assists, runners caught stealing, at-bats, hits, and a higher batting average than both of his peers, Hall of Fame catchers Johnny Bench and Carlton Fisk. And in a further comparison of Munson, Bench, and Fisk, feast your eyes on these highlighted stats. The thing here that sticks out most to me is that in the defensive categories, Thurman Munson ranked first amongst every single one of them. On the offensive side, he also ranks first in a good portion of the categories here, although Johnny Bench does squeak out a few more. However, isn't it curious how Carlton Fisk doesn't rank first anywhere in any of these stats? Not a one. So you may be asking yourself, whatever happened to Thurman Munson? Why isn't he in the Hall of Fame? Well, let us start with the first question first. One of Thurman's hobbies outside of baseball was flying, and sometime between 1977 and 1978, he obtained his pilot's license. He later purchased his own plane. This afforded him a freedom that few had, in that he was able to travel back and forth to games on his own time, which further allowed him to get back home faster and spend more time with his family on days off. To many, Thurman was a superb pilot, and eventually he upgraded from a prop plane to a 2-engine jet, appropriately serial numbered N15NY. However, on August 2, 1979, Munson and 2 of his friends joined him as he practiced a series of takeoffs and landings at the Akron-Canton airport. And what should have been an ordinary practice landing on his final approach turned into a most unfortunate and tragic accident, as Thurman's plane crashed short of runway 19. His friends were able to break away from the wreckage, but not before a valiant effort to rescue Thurman. But it was not to be. At the age of 32, the Yankee captain was gone. Thurman Munson is buried here at Sunset Hills Burial Park in Canton, Ohio. The site is beautiful, and Thurman's gravesite and monument can easily be found. His grave is visited often by adoring fans of all walks of life, ages, and Yankees fans or not, to remember and salute not only a great man, but a baseball legend. Thurman Munson has been on the Baseball Hall of Fame ballot many times, but to no avail. Some suggest that due to the tragic accident that prematurely ended his career, that he hadn't had enough time or achievements reached to meet the standards necessary to be considered a Hall of Famer. That, in itself, is a tragic suggestion and mindset. Fortunately, another great and exciting Hall of Fame opportunity awaits very soon, via the Modern Era Committee, who will be considering those who played from 1970 to 1987. It is important to know that while Thurman's stats and achievements that we've discussed earlier are undeniable, you also need to know the man behind them. One of Thurman's nicknames on the team was Tugboat. Now, before you ask why, you need to know the many definitions and characteristics of a tugboat to then know Thurman. He was mighty with courage, fortitude, determination, mixed with a little attitude, to take on whatever came his way, and he handled that with dignity and grace, leadership and strength. And speaking of leadership, he may have been hard, but he was fair, fearless, and led his crew to many a successful endeavor, which brought smiles and fun times. He gave us all, never faltered once. He had a heart, and he cared. And for those around him, be it his crew, friends, family, or fans, they marched and continue to march right alongside the great Tugboat. For he has won their hearts, and he will forever be their captain. And speaking of tugboats, you definitely need to visit Tugboats Pub, located at Meadow Lake Golf Course at 1211 39th Street Northeast in Canton, Ohio. It's owned by Thurman's son, Mike, and is named in honor of his father's nickname. We had a chance to visit here and had a great experience and some awesome food. Our server was Anna, and the chef who prepared our outstanding hamburgers was Frank. Along with our burgers, we had the traditional French fries and some fried pickles as our appetizer, with their special homemade tugboat sauce. That was delicious. And let me tell you, Anna and Frank knocked it out of the park with their great service. You won't leave hungry. So come in, grab a seat, a cold beer, and have some great food. You'll see some memorabilia and probably be able to catch a Yankees game too on any one of the large screen TVs throughout. Tugboats treat you like family, like an old friend you haven't seen in years. Great food, great spirits, and great memories. Thank you, Mike, and we can't wait to one day raising our glasses as we join you and others in celebration and cheering our captain home to the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Thank you for joining us today. We hope you've enjoyed our program. If you like our content, we ask that you like, share, and subscribe to our channel. It costs nothing but means a lot to us and keeps us growing. You may also leave us a tip if you choose. A link is provided here on your screen as well as in the description area below. And until next time, everyone, this one is history.